So in this problem, we're told that we have a four-sided shape that's not a parallelogram, but does have perpendicular diagonals. So you should be able to recognize that type of a figure as being a kite. A kite is a non-parallelogram that has perpendicular diagonals. So I always draw my kite by first starting with the diagonals so that everything looks pretty. Except for that point. So we have A here and B and C and D. And then they meet at point E, the diagonals. So I need to draw it like that because it says that AB and AD are the same. Okay, and of course BC and DC are the same. Those are another properties of kites. And another property of kites are that this one gets bisected, so these are the same length. Sorry, 3 tick marks, different than the other ones. So let's see, what do we know? We know that from A to E is 5. We know that from A to B is 13. And we know that from C to E is 35. And the question is, how long is it from D to C? So because the diagonals are perpendicular, this triangle DEC, this triangle right here, DEC, is a right triangle. So I can use Pythagoras as long as I know 2 out of the 3 sides, which I currently don't. I first need to figure out what this side right here is, and then I will be golden. So I know that AB is 13, which also means AD is 13, and I have myself a right triangle right here. And if I know 2 sides of my right triangle, I can find the third side by using Pythagoras. So 5 squared plus DE squared equals 13 squared. 13 is the hypotenuse, so it goes by itself. And if you know your Pythagorean triples, even if you don't, 25, 169. If I subtract those, I get 144, which means DE is going to be 12 units long. Okay, so let's go back up here, make this bigger again. So I know now that this is 12 units long, so I can use Pythagoras one more time to figure out the length of DC. So 12 squared plus 35 squared equals DC squared. Okay, now no, I can't do that in my head, but I do remember my Pythagorean triples. So as you are doing this in the calculator, you should be coming up with a final answer of 37 for the length of DC. 12, 35, 37 calculated triangle. I hope. Maybe it's 39, but I'm pretty sure it's 37. Okay, double check that math to make sure it works. Okay, lots of Pythagoras when it comes to kites and finding their side lengths.